Dream warrior, ain't gonna dream no more. I'm a dream warrior.
Recorded live from the dungeon, this is the Dream Warrior Review, and I'm Kurt Thomas.
And coming at you live from the hills of Tennessee,
I'm Mick Strawn.
Mick Strawn.
Okay, here we go.
Crossing swords. A good-hearted peasant dreaming of knighthood becomes a squire at Royal Castle. But his dream job isn't everything he hoped it would be. Crossing swords. How was that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a voiceover job.
Yeah, that's it going for you.
Well, I haven't actually gotten around to putting it together tape or anything. I mean,
well,
I want somebody to hear this podcast and say, "Oh my God, he has a great voice."
Oh my God. Well, you know what? Yeah, my grandkids describe you as the one with the voice.
I do impressions too.
They don't, and then they say, and then there's you. And I'm not 100% sure what that means. Or actually, let me say, I'm 100% sure that I know what that means.
Well, they hear you all the time, so they might be a little biased, like against you.
There's a lot of that going around here.
I mean, I think my daughters have moments where they're like, "Oh my God, Dad is always here."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you have to remember, Paul and I have only been working together now straight for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, just the two of us working on, so for some reason we're still getting along.
And she hasn't killed you yet. Yep, exactly.
Exactly. I have this piece of iron that I wear around my neck, though. Just in case.
Well, I have ankle bracelets.
Yeah, well, it's so hard to turn on your side when you're wearing full body armor.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Speaking of body armor,
just slide into that sucker. Okay.
Crossing Swords is a series on Hulu. It's a TV series, and it just came out this year.
It is.
I think this looks really cool. I like the design of this. I like how it looks. The writing and dialogue. Let me spell it out for you. LAME.
It is. You know what? I swear. It to me, it's like this. It's like the writing was so lame that they just had to. They just kind of like whenever it got like a little lame or like really, really lame, or as when it got lame.
It's
when
always...
it got lame, then they'd say, I'm this or something like that. And you're just like, because it's like a really lame, horrible moment because then the dialogue sucks and everybody, and then they're, well, you and well, and then, and then these animated creatures will either start to or boo each other right in front of you. And you're going, wow, I'm not sure that was a great dialogue fix.
No, you can't fix dialogue with sex usually.
No, but
it actually worked when I was dating, though.
Well, you know what? It worked when all of us were dating.
Right.
That's how it happens. Yeah. I don't want to say that I'm squeamish. I love Cartman and all of his friends, but man, this would just wore me down. It's just.
Well, there's a difference between like clever.
Terrible.
There's a difference between clever and not clever.
You're right.
Remember Team America World Police?
Yeah,
that was vulgar,
but it was clever. Yeah, it was clever. This has no clever to it at all.
Right.
And they're just. There is a certain, let's put it this way, because of the slant on the wall in front of me like this, if I threw that much against the wall on the floor, it would be up to my ankles.
Right.
No, it would be up
Yeah.
to my knees. They just, I swear to God, they just throw at it left and right. And there is no pathos in there anywhere. Here's the thing. It's like American Dad, it's a good example where every once in a while, there's like these weird ass situations and stuff, but there's a little bit of pathos in the scripts. One thing about animation is somewhere along the line, you need people to relate to one another. You need them, and there's just none of that in here. None of it reads as it at all heartfelt, or it's just a bunch of like really weird, and you're right about the animation. It is kind of nice. I think that some of it is just a little bit more rough than even they intended it to be.
Right.
You're like, yeah. So some like, for instance, there have been occasions in there when one guy was stabbing another with a sword. Of course, they don't have arms. I mean, the sword just is there, and the sword was so badly made. It's like two sticks put together, kind of like that or something, right?
Yeah.
And they're stabbing, and it literally took me a while to figure out what the f- was going on. It's like, oh, that's a sword. I see. It's
like high school production here.
It is.
Well, I kind of like I didn't like the VeggieTale look where that's always annoyed me. If you've seen VeggieTales, it's like they're holding things without any arms, and it's always bothered me. But they remind me of Little People. I used to play with Little People. Oh, here's a story time with Kurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are here.
Story time with Kurt.
They have like no arms. They look like little dildos, basically, with no arms.
No,
and I have this Sesame Street set, and I used to play with it all the time. And my parents still have that set in their basement. My daughter goes and plays with it, and she talks about it. And I'm like, and these are the little people that don't have arms. Now they have arms, which is really weird. Oh, and then I used to take egg cartons and cut little windows out, and I put like my little people in there, and I put wings on the egg carton, and we'd fly around the house, and I'd land the little people. I mean, I was a weird kid. I mean, I used to put Kleenex boxes on my feet and ice skate around the house. So anyway, there we are. That's my story. Wasn't that great?
Wait, was there a point to all that?
I just like little people.
Oh, okay. Well, you were just kind of like bringing up that they didn't have arms, and there have been that as an animation trope that has been done many times before.
Yeah.
And always more successfully than this bunch.
Well, even VeggieTales does it better.
Right. I mean, it's here's the thing. If you're not going to have arms, you need to be able to identify what it is that the arm that isn't there is holding, or it kind of loses its poignancy.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I just there's something missing, and I there's
I think it's missing a good writer. I mean, so there was one joke that was kind of jarring. It was like, I'm going to buy that pool table and I'm going to F your mother on it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, where did that come from? I don't know. I felt like I was losing brain cells watching this.
There was one. It's funny because you really can't tell. I mean, you're watching, there's so much going on, and you are trying to visually pick yourself through like what is going on the screen. Not that the jokes are coming too fast, it's just they're coming too shitty at you, right? but every once in a while they actually, like, there was a flashback into the when they're at the festival. And he sees his parents at the festival, and they go, "Oh, we're in our house hot," and they flashed back to the house being beat up by the trolls, and it was perfect. So we rented the house to a couple of goblins, right? And the house is being run over by 100 goblins that are and they're killing each other, and they're have all. And the thing is it's the most clear and concise thing that happens in the whole episode.
Well,
and
isn't flashbacks kind of an easy way out? Like, you know what I mean? Like the use of flashbacks, I think, are overdone sometimes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that was a flashback where the flashback was actually immensely better than the show itself.
Well, how many episodes did you watch?
6, I think.
See, I watched 3, and I can break it down to you. I watched the first episode, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so bad." And then I'm like, "Okay, I'll watch another episode." And I'm like, I can feel brain cells just dying. Right, I can hear the brain cells like screaming.
They're jumping out of your head.
That little tiny scream you hear before they die.
I swear to God, and I know that this is troublesome because my logic kind of went like this: is I saw the first couple and I thought, you know what, this is so bad, and it seemed like it was being pushed by by Hulu really strong, and I thought, this is so bad that it's got to get better, right?
Well, I think Seth Rogen was involved with it, so.
That's what I'm saying is it had a lot of people involved that had executive producer names on it, which is, all I have to say is that the executive producer in this means that they walked by the door on the way to an actual meeting. I think that's all that happened, and they got the executive producer credit because there was just no. I kept going along, and then after a while, I kept going along thinking to myself that that this was amazing that anybody had anything to do with this thing, and that they let it keep.
Well, that's what I've noticed about streaming.
I mean, it's shitty.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed about streaming though in general. Like if you look at like the Blumhouse stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that stuff is a perfect example.
Compared to the theater stuff, no way.
Right.
I don't know. The third episode, I was done. I was like, I got to get through this episode. I'm done. I just don't care. I really don't care. And it was this is basically how I'd sum it up. It was a fail. Big failure.
Here's the thing. There is something about usually there's an arc that I have noticed, especially in Blumhouse, all these an awful lot of the shows that are on that are specifically streaming is there's a certain quality that refines itself after the second and third episode, because the first episode, the pilot is always kind of loose and then it may find itself through the third, the fourth, but trailing at the end, I don't feel guilty if I stop like on the third, fourth, or fifth episode. It's like I don't need to see the end of it.
Yeah, it seems like most of the shows I like, I really start liking them. Episode 3 is like the magic number.
Yeah, see, now I have to go back and keep on working on Space Force because I had liked that so much more than I thought.
Space Force took me 5 episodes Oh, okay. I think I texted you. I was like, episode 5.
Yeah, you did.
Good.
You said episode 5 is pretty good, and I'm on 4. So I was like, oh, just got to make it episode 5.
Yeah, there's a battle scene. A couple of them.
Oh yeah. I did kind of like it when the rocket ship goes by and clips
right, yeah.
Clips the solar panels and keeps going.
Well, I want to get back to Nosferatu too. I think I kind of didn't really give that one the time of day, at least not yet.
Yeah, you know what? No, it wasn't that interesting in that one. That's well done.
Yeah. Well, so I give this show, I mean, it's pretty to look at. I give it a 1.5, I guess, after 3 episodes.
This is the first time ever that I am actually going to give it a letter grade.
Oh, really?
Z.
Pass or fail?
It gets a Z.
It's pass or fail.
No, there is no definition for Z. Just Z. That's it. I refuse to give it a number.
Or as the Canadians would say,
badly I hate
I give it Zed.
Zed. Zed. This one, Zed.
Wow.
Yeah, Zed.
Well, I was generous. I gave it a 1.5.
That's very generous of you. That's
probably too generous. So if I think about it,
honest to God, Hulu owes me.
They should send everybody $1 that's watched this movie.
5 episodes, 4 episodes. It owes me 4 episodes. That's all.
They should just give everybody a month's worth of. Here's a month's worth. Sorry.
Yeah, if you see this, then you just don't have to pay Hulu until the end of the year.
Oh, you're gonna get a letter in the mail. There's a class action lawsuit. Everybody's gonna get an equal portion.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
Class action lawsuit. Because
waiting for the Blumhouse one.
Yeah, because of Cross Swords.
Right. Castle Rock. I mean, really, come on. Yeah, so I think if you compare all the streaming services, I think the original content, I think Netflix is pretty good, and Prime is actually coming up, I think. Prime actually is a good selection overall. No,
Prime. I have to tell you that Prime is amazing, and Prime actually, HBO Max is trying to sneak up on Prime and get a width.
Yeah.
The thing is like Prime actually has got such a deep back end of like even old films and 50s trash science fiction films.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I
just look up space.
I swear I have
monsters.
I have looked up space you're absolutely right. And you could literally start today and we would still be reviewing them in 7 years.
Yes.
Day by day. Even if we were doing an episode a day, there are so much of 50s and 60s TV or movies that I had no idea that there was that much of it.
Plus, they're connected to IMDb too, so IMDb has titles on there too.
Yeah, oh man, it's amazing. No, I saw Amazon is the one that's really it's the one to beat out there.
Right. Yeah.
Netflix is kind of Netflix has a lot of probably more of the modern series but it doesn't have the biggest block of modern movies, and definitely Prime has got the chunk of like historical movies, man.
Well, I'm still an old school Netflix guy. I get like the streaming, but I also get a DVD in the mail. So I get like
right. There you go.
I get the new releases through the mail.
Here's my wife and I we actually bought a recorder. We went and bought another DVD player, which we probably haven't had one for 5 years. I mean, I've had one on my computer, but that's about it. But we actually got one, and I think, and we're slowly making our way through every Charlie Chan movie.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Oh gosh, Charlie Chan. There's a character. My dad actually liked Charlie Chan, the radio show.
Yeah.
And then I remember
well, this
show is crazy.
The show itself, I've read back in the history of it. Like there were 5 or 6 different actors that played it, and like every one of them died in the role.
Yeah.
Right. From 1937 on, from 1937 until the mid 60s.
Wow.
They were continuously making those movies, and like Warren Oland would do like virtually they would do like 15 films a piece and then die, and then the next one would and do 15 films.
That's crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. They do 4 a year and then they're out.
That's one thing. If you don't know what Charlie Chan is, you should at least look it up on YouTube because it'll blow your
mind. You ought to at least do one of them. Right. It is funny. It is funny because when you think about what they were originally done for, is they were used so that we had an Asian character that was not a bad guy.
Right.
That was literally why they started it. They
But the voice alone, though, I mean.
Oh yeah. But and in order to prove that, what they did is the first one is they hired a Swiss guy to play Charlie Chan, and then a Mexican.
Right.
So
yeah.
Just to clear the name of all the because before that they had the Fu Manchu problem.
Right. Yes.
Was the bad guy.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in a whole bunch of films, and oddly enough, he was played by
Boris Karloff in the 30s, later played by Christopher Lee in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah, right. Whoa, boy, me too.
Well, I don't know.
With that, you know what? I'm going to say, like I say, Zed. I'm Zed on this one.
Yes. Well, I already gave him my buzzer.
Yeah, and that's the first time. That's the first time that I have had to resort to alphanumeric.
That's really sad.
Sorry.
It's not even like a G or H. It's like a Z.
No, I couldn't even feel good about that. You know, I would have to go into minus numbers, and we just don't do that here.
No. Actually, I think we did. Did we do it on Mother? I don't think either one of us rated
bring
Mother.
that up. God damn it.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm still trying to. I'm still in therapy because of Mother. It's not a good thing.
You and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
but
she dated the guy.
literally, Jennifer Lawrence said that that film had creeped her out so much that she had trouble sleeping after she saw it in the theater. For the cast and crew, that she couldn't sleep for weeks after that.
Wow. Well, I have not had a movie that's made me feel like that watching it, like where I'm like, I feel like I'm just taking down this like train that's in a crash and I have no control.
That's right. Absolutely no control.
And I couldn't walk out because I wanted to see what would happen so I could talk about it.
Because you know what? Here's the thing is if you wrote a book about it, it would call when an art film goes bad.
Right. When an art film could actually rape you in the theater.
That's right.
My ass was bleeding for days. You wouldn't even review it with me. That's how bad it was.
Oh, God, that was horrible. God, no way.
So did I tell you that my
Relative.
she heard that episode and she thought that you were like making like you were passing gas in the background. I'm like, well, I guess we missed that target because it was you like sighing, like you didn't want to talk about it. I'm like, well, that didn't really hit, did it?
Yeah, no, it didn't.
But if it was video, it would have worked.
But yeah, that's if it was video. Yeah,
you could have been like sitting there, like not even facing the camera, going, but oh well.
See, these modern times would have fixed it.
I know. Look at my pretty background.
There you go. Look at my pretty background, and mine's real.
What's cool is I can make things disappear if they're green. Let's see, like, look, here's my cup. Where did it go?
I can't do that.
There
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
I just
You have to get it just.
I can't do that. Okay, Kurt, I think I've had enough.
Yeah, I think I've had enough too.